Welcome back, everyone. Let's go ahead and do a comparison between the iPhone XR and the iPhone 11 in 2022. Now, both these phones are a little bit older. Unfortunately, you can't buy the iPhone XR brand new anymore, but you can buy the iPhone 11 brand new. You can still pick up a XR in the certified refurbished market, I think, especially in the used market. So keep that in mind. Other than that, these phones are very similar, but also very different. If you have the money, I would highly recommend going up to the iPhone 11. This is a very solid phone, and I love this phone a lot. But the XR is also a very good phone too. So links are down in the description if you want to pick up either one of these. You can get that from there and help support the channel at the same time. Now side by side, you can definitely tell that they are almost exactly the same thing. They both have 6.1-inch IPS panels on the front, and there really isn't that big of a difference as far as I can tell. They are both very good. Maybe the iPhone 11 is a little bit better, but honestly, I can't really tell. From a day-to-day task, I've been using both these phones for a very long time, and I couldn't really tell that big of a difference. The notches are also almost the same size as well. In terms of thickness and thickness, you can also see roughly around the same thing. I don't really think there's even that big of a difference here. So that's another cool thing. Design-wise, they were almost identical, to be honest. And even on the back, we have a single camera setup on the iPhone XR, where the iPhone 11, we had a dual camera setup. Now, I do think the single camera setup, layout is a little bit outdated now, but again, it's totally okay. With the iPhone 11, that dual camera setup is definitely much better. We have wireless charging on both, IP certification on both as well. So they are very, very similar. On the outside, the main difference, as far as I can tell, is that dual camera setup, which is actually a pretty big deal in my opinion. So in terms of the outside, the lightning ports, no headphone jacks or anything like that. On the outside, that pretty much covers it. Now, this is the bigger thing. In terms of longevity, the iPhone 11 is definitely going to outlast the iPhone XR as far as we know. Now, there's still a chance where the XR is going to be getting extra software versions and maybe it'll last as long as the iPhone 11, but realistically, the iPhone 11 is probably going to beat the iPhone XR. But the thing to keep in mind is that the iPhone 6s is still supported with software. So, in my opinion, even if you do pick up an iPhone XR, you are still going to be in a very good situation. You're still going to have lots of software support for sure, and I think that's a really big thing to keep in mind. So whether you have an iPhone XR or iPhone 11, you are still supported with software for a long period of time now. So in terms of that, that is a really, really big thing to keep in mind. But let's go ahead and do a speed test between them too. So they're both on the latest version, iOS 15.3 that just came out. The iPhone XR has that Apple A12 Bionic chip inside of it with 3 gigabytes of RAM, where the iPhone 11 has that Apple A13 Bionic chip inside of it with 4 gigabytes of RAM. So let's go and see which one is the faster one between both of these. Okay, there we go. All the apps were cleared out in the background as you guys can see. The iPhone XR is here, the iPhone 11 is here. Let's get into it. Phone calls, 3, 2, 1. Almost the same thing, not that big of a difference. Let's do music, 3, 2, 1. The XR looked to be a little bit faster. I think we did open it up here a little bit earlier today, if you guys remember, but whatever, I will give that one to the XR. App Store, I accidentally opened it here. Let's do the App Stores, 3, 2, 1. And the iPhone 11 was faster. Scrolling through, we can see if there's a difference, and it doesn't really look like there's a difference, so we'll just kind of keep scrolling through that one. Hopping out of here, let's do Mail, 3, 2, 1. There we go, iPhone 11 was faster. Hopping out of this one, let's go and do Photos, 3, 2, 1. iPhone 11 slightly faster there. Let's get into their cameras, 3, 2, 1. And roughly around the same thing, let's go and click into the photos here. And the iPhone 11 was slightly faster there. Hopping out of this one, let's do Clock, 3, 2, 1. iPhone 11 again is the faster one. Let's go ahead and kind of see what else we got, and that pretty much covers that for the front page. Now, as always, we have a bunch of these third-party applications we can go and get into. Fruit Ninja, 3, 2, 1. Now, there's always problems with this specific game. I don't even know why I still test this one, to be honest, but I guess we'll see what happens. And the iPhone 11 was faster there, and the iPhone XR slightly a little bit behind. So that one actually went smoother than I thought. Let's go and get into Thank You. 3, 2, 1. A little bit of a glitch on the iPhone XR I noticed there too. So a little slight difference, but not even that big of a deal. And the iPhone 11 got into it, and the iPhone XR a little bit behind. So that actually wasn't that big of a difference either. But closing out, you can see the iPhone XR a little bit slower there. Let's do Quizlet. 3, 2, 1. iPhone 11 is faster, XR a little bit behind. Let's go and do Dropbox. 3, 2, 1. Again, iPhone 11 is the faster one there. Let's go and get into Bofa, which we don't have. Temple Run 2, 3, 2, 1. Now, this game has also been glitching up a little bit too, which has been kind of annoying. So I'm not really too sure what's going on here, but I guess we'll kind of see what happens. And it does look like the iPhone 11 is the faster one here too. The 10R was on that downloading content little option too, so keep that in mind. Again, this game is kind of all over the place, but the iPhone 11 has been consistently faster pretty much this whole entire test, which is really good to see. Hopping out of this one, let's do Facebook 3, 2, 1. 11 was logged in and it was still faster, which was very weird. Twitter 3, 2, 1. And again, these are on the recent version of software. They're both exactly the same thing. That pretty much covers that one. Stack 3, 2, 1. And almost identical, to load into this ad thing, it really was about the same. Let's go and do snake first blocks, 3, 2, 1. And again, the iPhone 11 is a faster one. So we've kind of been seeing that the iPhone 11 was the faster one each time. But to be honest, I've kind of mentioned this a couple times before. The iPhone 10R was really fast, but now it's kind of glitching all over the place. And I think that has a lot to do with iOS 15. For some reason, iOS 15 really hindered a lot of what these iPhones could do. And that was very weird. I never really understood that. iOS 15 wasn't even that big of an update. And the iOS, the iPhone 11 was a very fast device, but I don't remember it being this much faster than the iPhone 10R to be honest. So in terms of that pretty much covers it up here. Now let's go ahead on the cameras. Now, like I just mentioned, something like the iPhone 11 is going to be the better camera. You have a dual camera setup on the iPhone 11, a wide and an ultra wide sensor, where the iPhone 10R has a single wide angle lens. They both can do 4K at 60 on the back, but the iPhone 11 can do 4K at 60 on the front. That is a massive, massive thing to keep in mind. Now, with something like the iPhone 10R's camera, you still have quite a bit of capability. Like I said, 4K at 60 on the front. You do have 1080p at 60 on the back. So you have 1080p at 60 on the front, 4K at 60 on the back. I'm confusing myself. And it's still a pretty good camera. I've done a lot of camera comparisons with this iPhone as well, and it's done a really, really good job. It still takes videos, photos, portrait mode. You do miss out on things like cinematic mode that the new iPhones have, but the iPhone 11 doesn't have it either, so there's no point even bringing it up. Still think this camera is really good, and I don't really have too many complaints about it. Now, with something like the iPhone 11's camera, honestly, I don't really think there's like a big difference in terms of like how the camera looks, in terms of like the actual photos or anything. But that ultra wide sensor is a really cool option to have, and it's definitely one of my favorite things about the iPhone 11. It's one reason why I keep recommending this phone to people. It's just because it's that good of a device. It has a lot of capability. You still have the same things like portrait mode and things, but you have that 4K at 60 on the front, which is a really good resolution to have to pretty much future-proof yourself forever. So the iPhone 11's camera is definitely better, but the iPhone 10R's camera really isn't that bad. And if it came between both, I'd like the iPhone 10R, but the iPhone 11 is definitely the better one too. So now that takes us to the end of the video, and to be completely honest, when it comes down to both of these, I do think the iPhone 11 is the better one than the iPhone 10R, but the iPhone 10R is still a very good phone. I haven't had too many complaints about this phone throughout my several years of owning it. I think the first day I had it, that was like the worst day, but then after that, it's been getting better and better. Since iOS 15, it has taken a toll on this device, which is very sad. I think the battery life has gone down quite a bit. I think, the actual performance of this phone has gone down too, but that's pretty much the same case with all of the iPhones that came out. So it's really not even that big of a deal at this point. I think this iPhone still has a ton of capability, still has a ton of quality, and I'm still a huge fan of this phone for sure. But the iPhone 11 is definitely the far better one here. It's quite obvious. This one has a lot of capability. It's faster, it has better cameras, potentially better battery life. The whole nine yards. This is a very good phone. I think if I were you, I would probably recommend buying the iPhone 11. But if you own an iPhone 10R, you could still keep it. It's still supported. There's not that big of a difference between them. If you're buying one, the iPhone 11 is the one for you. But if you want to buy the best iPhone, go for the iPhone 13. That's pretty much the best way I can explain it. So that pretty much covers it up. If you guys have any other questions or anything like that, let me know in the comment section below. Hit the like button, that would mean so much, but definitely hit that subscribe button. More importantly than everything else, I love every single one of you guys. Hopefully I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out till then.